We are still growing. If you haven't had your tias smash that subscribe button, go ahead and have them smash that right now. First and foremost, want to give a shout out to my nephew Seth. A little homie reached out yesterday. Keep doing big things, bro. If you haven't already bought your shirt, I'm going to link it down at the bottom. All right. I have to sell a limited amount before they can start printing them. Your boy ain't quite there yet where we're mass producing. So if you can help out, please do. This episode right here is going to be a banger, right? Talking about our youth in the correctional system, right? California prisons. I was talking with Larry Lawton on his channel. He'll be dropping the interview shortly. He asked me, at any time, did you feel bad? Did you feel sorry for some of these guys that maybe were innocent, maybe got LWAP, anything of that nature? Like, how did you feel, as a guard? And I thought about it, and it was a fairly quick answer, right? And I told him like this. I told him, at the academy, they teach you to be empathetic, not sympathetic. Meaning, okay, have empathy but not sympathy. Kind of from a mindset, understand what they're going through, but in essence, don't like get emotionally attached, emotionally involved, which makes total sense, right? It's a business. It is a professional setting, right? And even the inmate population will tell you, after you get assaulted, it's all business, right? Because it is all business and should be treated as such. But I told them there's one thing that always stood out to me. One thing that always struck me. One thing that kind of did get to me. And that was these young individuals coming into the prison system, putting in work, and then catching a life sentence. And it's like, well, what do you mean, Hector? Well, at Centinela State Prison, I was young. I was 22 years old. I was a torpedo myself, right? For green. They had young inmates coming in on the blue side, 2007. That's when I touched down at Centinela. Charlie Yard, level 4 GP. They had young inmates like 18, 19, 20, 21 years of age. Those dudes were about the business. Torpedoes. Well, Hector, what's a torpedo? You keep saying it. Is it those things on submarines? No. It means that, hey, you give somebody a weapon and you tell them, you're going to go hit that dude. You and the other homie are going to go hit that dude. Right? So, that's the whole topic of this episode. Do you have to follow rules? Do you have to put in work? 100% absolutely yes. Especially on a general population yard. Okay? Now okay. There's individuals that fall into bad standings, right? Whether they created a drug debt, right? Whether they badmouth somebody they surely should not have been badmouthing. I can tell you that much. Whether they dealt drugs with the race they should not be dealing drugs with, right? Per their rules. Not ours, surely. Our rules state they shouldn't be doing drugs at all, right? So, these kind of things will get you in trouble within your own organization. Well, there's consequences, okay? And in prison, on those types of yards, those consequences result in stabbings, removals, right? Hard candies, chequeadas, all of the above. Call them what you want to call them, right? Individuals got to get hand selected to go on that mission, right? You do. Now, understand, you got at the time, and maybe you still do now for sure, I'm sure times have not changed that, you got individuals raising their hand and volunteering. In essence, they're trying to make a name for themselves. Maybe they enjoy it. They probably enjoy it, right? Like they probably get a thrill from the adrenaline, right? And I can see that. I was in the military. I know 100% what it is like to be a young, testosterone-driven young man in a world full of violence. I totally get that. So you got dudes that are raising their hand and going on these missions with a weapon, a good piece, a shank. But what about the ones that are not raising their hands? What about the ones that are there passing through, so to say? Yeah, they're in gangs. Yes, they're surely in prison. You're going to get picked. Your time is going to come. You're going to get picked. Well, Hector, can't you tell them no? It is not in your best interest to tell them no, because you will now be a victim of an assault, possibly even worse. And that is the truth. If somebody asks you to do something in prison and you tell them no, they're going to tell you, all right, homie, don't trip. Don't trip, homie. And guess what? You just got added to that. You just got added to that, man. That's how treacherous. I talk about treacherous. I talk about like. So when it came down to those types of removals, those types of incidents, that always struck me, man. Like, man, wow. Like, dude just threw his life away. The dude just threw his life away. Like, I don't even think these dudes, and I've seen it recently up at Donovan, right? They murdered somebody. One of the dudes was on there for a DUI. I think I made an episode on here. Even then, it got me like, man, like you're done. You're done. You're absolutely done. You can't take that back. You can't reverse it. You can't turn back the hands of time. You can't explain yourself. I mean, you can try explaining yourself. It ain't going to go nowhere. You're going to be talking to the air, right? We got you on camera. We got you on camera stabbing this dude to death. Like, it's over. It's game over. The life has been taken. That's a wrap. That always got me. Like, that always, like, it's such a fine line. It is such like a hairline. Like, that's how it is, man. I think they moved the movie Shot Caller on that, right? That's how that is, right? Like, I remember too, there was a murder at Centinela. Well, there was a couple, but I remember like these youngsters, like, and you would always hear it too. Like, as you guys want to know what Green talks about or what goes through Green's minds behind those doors. Yeah. Like, these stabbings would happen on second watch on Charlie Yard. Well, they would happen at shift change. Exactly at shift change, 1:45, 1:50 p.m. But I would come in, your third watch, pescado, right, brand new. The yard would be slammed for second. We would resume it up on third, right, normal program, isolated incident. Let's get these inmates to program. And they would say, oh, yeah, they killed they killed the dude earlier. Man, one of the dudes was getting out in 2 months. What? Getting out in 2 months. Getting out in 2 months. Getting out of the prison was supposed to be getting out in 2 months. And now this dude caught a life sentence. That even thinking about it right now, it's like, I just can't. It's messed up for one, but I can't, man. It would be interesting if anybody that has participated in that would tap into the comments, man. I would like to know what went through their mind. Like, what the heck? What did I just do? What did I just do? Aside from taking a life, right? Taking a life is not an easy. You gotta live with those consequences. Taking a life, I told you I was in the military. You gotta process that. You gotta live with that. You gotta, those are your ghosts, those are your demons, they sit on your shoulder. And now you're trapped. You're trapped in prison when you should have went home. Like I think I've put an emphasis on enough on that, right? I think I've made my point. That got me. That always you're gonna be asked to do numerous things, right? I just gave you the worst case scenario, taking another individual's life or accidentally taking another individual's life, right? Because a lot of the times they're not meaning to do this; it just happens. Um, you carry dope, right? Hoop dope, which keister, right? Put it in your, you know what, and then transport it. Hooping weapons, right? You catch a possession of a weapon charge in prison, that's not taken lightly either. You could get struck out. Back then the dudes were getting struck out for possessions of weapons, where dudes were like, Sally's talking, hey, you take possession, please. I already have 2 strikes. You only have one. This will strike. Oh, I got you, homie. I got you. Like I would overhear this kind of stuff, right? When I would be in the little golf cart escorting inmates from C6, ADSEG at Centinela to the TTA, the medical, and back, I would hear these dudes talking, right? Like, it's just another world, man. California prison system is just another world. Like, on the way that it operates. There's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy. There's a rules set forth by them, not by us. We could honestly, like me personally, if I could have it my way, it would just be like everybody just chill, right? Everybody just chill. I was always on board for the whole Xbox. You hear like on the East Coast they have like Xbox or PlayStation. I'm like, hey, give these dudes Xboxes, give these dudes weed, and let them hang out in their cell. No harm, no foul. Have at it, man. Go play, trade. They might be fighting over trading games and video games, but hey, I don't care. Have fun. Because I wanted to chill, right? Especially towards the end, man. So, yeah. With that message, this is another good message, man. Youth, being young, putting in work, thinking you're putting in work on either side, on blue or green side or a civilian side. When you are young, your decisions can change your life forever. Trust me. When you are young, you think you're invincible. I can assure you, nobody is invincible, right? Keep pushing forward.